the problem child.
It used to be you. Now it's me.
Now it's you.
All right. Well. Hey guys, I'm Christopher McSweeney.
And I'm Tim Shabanowitz.
And we have lesson 18 on prototyping, a great lesson. This is where you build something.
Something.
Doesn't matter what.
Right.
And we have a quote from Brené Brown. There is no innovation or creativity without failure. I won't say anything. Not going to lead it. I just did.
How much time should you give them?
33 seconds.
Okay. That was over 30.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Go. I do make those exactly as long as
27 and a half.
All right, Shabanowitz, this is where you live.
I live
Prototyping
for this.
world.
I love making things. It's so much fun, but you gotta have a good plan. So we've been setting up for this time all the way through this book, through the design thinking process. So we got empathy, we defined a problem, we ideated, and now we're picking an idea that we think we like, and we're going to prototype it. And so you've already done a mood board in the last lesson, but now here's where you can try to picture that space or make that space come to life for your client, right? Yep. So you got to consider, how are you going to prototype? Are you going to build a little physical model? Or are you going to build a model on your computer? Or are you going to sketch things out? Remember, a prototype is a small test to make sure that your vision is agreed upon by all the user groups and stakeholders in whatever you're doing. So you don't want to invest too much time in an early prototype. So you want to kind of do like a low res or low resolution prototype, something that's quick and dirty, just trying to get some feedback on there.
And use cheap materials.
Cheap materials.
Don't spend money on the low res.
Yeah. So we're talking like cardboard, maybe pencil and paper, and that's it. Yeah. But as you go through the process, if this is later on in the process, we're getting towards where you're going to have to start building stuff real soon, you want to, or you're doing a pitch to a client, you want to do a little more higher resolution or high res product here. And that might involve a little more time on craftsmanship, better material selection, a little more expensive, but still, it is not going to cost the same amount as the full-on prototype. Otherwise, what's the point of prototyping?
Right. And you can use this right-hand side of the page to kind of sketch out your design. Yeah,
this is kind of cool, this right-hand. You can actually do like 3D isometric type drawings with this grid paper. Kind of cool.
Nice. A couple notes on this, because I do a lot of prototyping, and that's how we landed.
You don't say in your room right? All the time.
But I always preferred the high-res prototype. You don't have to do one or the other. I think if I really reflected, I would have a low-res. It probably was a sketch somewhere.
Sure.
But I've always preferred a high-res, which is why I like...
Well, it's more satisfying, for sure.
Like when I did my conjugation boards, I was like, no, I want to do it on a big ole, 2 foot by 20-inch piece of wood.
Yep.
I don't want to do a little piece of paper. I've already seen those. So sometimes you can steal the low res prototype from somebody else.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's already done. I'm going to make it better now, and that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is we want to move quickly. We want to fail fast. If we're going to fail, it might be a hit. Test the client to see if a low-res prototype would actually be negative for them, and maybe the low-res prototype is for the designers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
some people might see a piece of cardboard and be like, no, I don't get it.
Yep. It's really client dependent. You also might consider, in the prototype phase, you want to show options. Okay, you've been dealing with a lot of options here. If your client really wants to see like 10 different options, show 10 different options. But if your client just wants to see the final product after you or your group have already gone through the options, then do it that way. But prototyping should lead to, you're part of that design thinking process, so you should be doing a lot of ideating, a lot of prototyping, and going around the circle of design thinking. So you should do a lot of options.
Good. Don't live here.
No.
Don't live here. Like, get your design.
Yep.
Okay. Use this as a tool, not as a destination.
Mm-hmm.
I just came up with that. I like that.
I like it. I think we should quote you on the next lesson.
I like that one too. Let's do that. It's a tool, not a destination. Anyway, I will say be careful how you are starting to express these designs and these things that you're building. You can get caught in where people just assume you are only prototyping things. You don't want that. I've had that happen to me before, where some people just were like, well, you're just nonstop prototyping. And I'm like, well, to me, they're all finished products.
Yeah.
Right?
And you also want to make sure that
see, choosing his words carefully.
Yeah, and I just lost it. Also, you want to make sure that you finish the prototype, okay? You want to get to an end. Prototypes are not supposed to be perfect. That's what the final product's supposed to be. Don't get stuck in tweaking the final little tidbits of the prototype. If it's close enough, do the real thing. If you've gotten sign off, go for it.
Yep. Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. Yep.
Good. All right. Well, following this, we have a
I love this one. Yes.
a DOD.
Yes.
Want to tell them real quick?
Thorn Crown Chapel. As you study this building, it's a chapel in the middle of the woods.
Is this our first U.S.
No, we've had one. Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But this one, Eureka Springs in Arkansas, is one of the most haunted cities in the United States, I think.
Is this the crisscross beams?
This is crisscross
beams.
beams.
Yeah, this one's awesome.
So what I would love for you to do when you take a look at this, imagine how you would prototype this building, because it's basically like a lantern in the middle of the woods, and it's fun to look at. And there's some ingenious prototyping with the cross beams and how he made that happen. So take a look at that.
Awesome. Well, get to work. We hope this video helps, and good luck.
See you on the next one.